Hey, what is up guys? So today we're going to be covering why I believe that the PS5 is the best console ever made for horror games. And you guys are going to see that as I'm going to lay out every single reason why I believe this. Now, this console will be more exciting than ever to finally get, but as you guys might have seen, it's the most hyped console, one of the most hyped consoles ever. So the reason why I say this is because if we take a look at all the PlayStation 5 reveals and trailers, we see an overwhelming support by the fans, getting millions of views for every single little thing that we see, including like the PS5 logo and how ridiculously popular it was on Instagram and stuff like that. So it just goes to show how excited people are. Now, before we start, I will advise you watch till the end so you can have the full context of my reasons. And if you enjoy after watching that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It lets me know who finds it interesting and what I should keep doing more of. And also make sure to subscribe if you want to catch more videos like this in the future. Now, so to get started with the reasons I have here, I think they highlight pretty well why the PS5 is a really good console for horror games. So if you like horror games, strap up because I think you're gonna find this very interesting. So let's begin with the DualSense controller for the PS5. I think it's fair to start with the controller that is taking the world by storm ever since people have been getting their hands on it early along with the console, whether it be how it feels, the shape and ergonomics, but especially those brand new features that we see on the DualSense, and I guess you could call it magical. But it is right there in the name DualSense. The PS5 controller has haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, which are truly a game changer. I won't describe them much here because you guys already know how and can find better videos for it, but those features make a huge difference for the game experience and add to a whole new layer that we hadn't known before. This taps into so much potential where the controller can mess with the player, putting a creepy heartbeat throbbing on the controller with those granular high quality haptics so that you can feel every beat in your hands. A pulsing heart rate on your hands already creeps me the fuck out, so imagine this. Or when a gun jams in a survival horror and the adaptive triggers lock up in the DualSense. You truly DualSense everything and it is disgustingly genius, pun intended. But now let's talk about the Tempest 3D audio engine. It may have slipped by some of you, but the PS5 is going to be a beast of a console when it comes to handling audio and producing some truly quote-unquote immersive, for lack of a better word, I know it's kind of generic, 3D audio to games with the intent to trick your brain that the audio you just heard came from real life, like from behind you or next to you or some creepy shit like that. This is called the 3D Tempest audio engine on PS5, and the best part is that it works with any pair of headsets, so whatever you got now. The processing happens on the PS5, which has a separate CPU processor only for audio, which is pretty awesome. This is, in my opinion, the main reason why the PS5 is the best system ever designed for horror games. If there is one thing that's most important above all for horror games, is audio, sounds, noises, and the environment. Yes, even ranked higher than visuals when truly making a scene or atmosphere feel alive and creepy and loud and scary. Sounds from the most subtle to the loudest screech can cause anyone terror regardless of what they're currently looking at. Just try to imagine a jump scare from FNAF without the actual sound, just like a mute clip or something. It will practically have no effect because the scariest stuff comes from the most subtle things and the ones that you truly don't see coming. And sound can do both better than any other device in horror video games. Wow, if that doesn't excite you, let's talk about the graphics. 4K 60 FPS, maybe 120 FPS, maybe. Although arguably the most important aspect of a horror game relies on the sound design, like hearing every single wet drop on the floor splashing on the ground in an empty quiet room where the atmosphere is dead silent except for the rain falling, making everything else quiet, even the screams. The PS5 could probably very easily achieve such capabilities at 4K 60 frames per second, depending on how ambitious the game is and how well optimized it is. But with this new leap in power the PS5 has, it allows it to provide more resources to add that extra detail to the cracked painting on the wall, or that drop of blood falling from the ceiling and the shine of sweat coming off your skin with all its RTX glory. All things to consider that would highly increase the effectiveness an environment has. Even if it can't run all those effects at once, a game can offer performance visuals and options that tailor the experience for every single person one way or the other. Options are always better. The PS5 seems fit for the job. Now, finally, without further ado, probably the most important part for most of you, the PS5 games that are coming, plus rumored games. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this. The PS5 will probably have an excess number of horror titles released on it throughout its life cycle, but no one can deny the hype that a Silent Hill reboot or Silent Hills from Kojima could bring to the table, most likely exclusively to the PS5. Admittedly, the latter is very unlikely to happen unless Sony buys the Silent Hill IP, but Sony has had that on lockdown anyways for a while, since the exclusive PS4 demo of PT for Silent Hills a while back. It was going to be exclusive. The Silent Hill reboot, however, is still on my radar. There have been more people talking about it since my last update, but it has been no leak, so I haven't made a video on it because I don't want to spam the same type of videos based on only rumors. But you bet your ass, when there's a legitimate leak or an official reveal, I'll be the first to cover here on this channel, so subscribe and leave a like. But yes, the potential of this game plus everything else I talked about here bring the PS5 to undoubtedly the best platform for a horror game in 2020 and on, and to something else matches those features that the PS5 has. There will be, of course, many other titles like Resident Evil 8 Village and Quantum Error available on PS5, like I said, plenty of options, but legendary series like Silent Hills and many other titles that can reach new heights due to these enhancements on PS5 is really exciting to look forward to. And I think many of you guys will agree with the sentiment that aside from every other fancy feature the PS5 has, at the end of the day, it's all about the games. And if you have a really fancy console, really powerful, really brand new console, and it has no games in it, then what's the point? Because you can't really enjoy those features without the game. But with that being said, those are my reasons for believing the PS5 is the best console to experience a horror title starting in 2020 and so forth, like I said, until something else supersedes it. So if you guys like that video, I spent a good amount of time getting the details, making sure I scripted it well. Make sure to leave a like if you guys enjoyed it, found it interesting, and if you guys agree or disagree, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. I do appreciate it. But with that being said, there's not much else I can say. Just share the video if you guys really are a fan of it. But that has been it. Thank you guys and peace.